All right. Well, as you know, during the pandemic, we spent a lot of time at home with our families. I spent a lot of time at home with my cat.
Yes, and even though we don't want to miss going out and seeing everyone as the world reopens, family time is still super important. And joining us now to talk more about that is Dr. Laura Saunders. Thank you so much for being with us, Doc. It's our weekly. We love Wednesdays.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday to you. All right. So first, you're going to tell me why it's so important to spend time with family after I just got done spending 14 months with them.
Well, you also spend a lot of time with you and your cat.
That's
and
true.
While you talk nicely to your cat, I'm sure your cat doesn't talk back to you. So this is about getting out. This is about socializing. This is about realizing that we are hopefully through this global pandemic, where we were stuck at home, where we were struggling with, feeling like these were the only people I ever talked to. So family time's important, but now we need to get out of the house. We need to plan some day trips. We need to plan a little family vacation. We need to do things because more time with family, but outside the home, gives us a sense of different experiences. It helps us learn conflict resolution. Now, let's hope that your parents aren't having a, knockdown drag out, but the way parents manage conflict and communicate is modeling for their kids. So that's one thing. It helps build confidence. It gives you a sense of strength because here's my family cares about me. I must be valuable enough to be cared about. So it gives you sort of a that are outside the home. It also helps our physical health as well as our emotional health. So let's get outside. Let's do some things as a family. It helps create that bonding experience.
Do you have a guideline on what is appropriate, like for how much time? Because if you have teenagers in the house, they're looking, I just already have dinner with you?
That's a great question because we always take a developmental approach. Young children still actually want to spend some time with their parents. They want to do things. But again, I know during COVID, we had to all sit inside and read books and play chess. However, now is the time. Let's get out. Let's do things. Developmentally, young kids want to keep them active. We want to get them off the couches. We want to get them off the gaming devices. So developmentally, do lots of things with your young kids. Teenagers, you have to have more modified expectations. They don't want to do a ton of things with family, but there's no reason why, sitting down at a family dinner. Family dinners is also a great way to kind of check in with your kids. Actually, the secret that I always say is I don't necessarily ask how my kids are doing. I ask more about their friends, and then I get information about their friends, and then I just assume that they're talking about themselves. So it's a really good way to get
that's the secret.
Get information.
Yeah, that's very good. That's very sly there, doctors. I want to go back to conflict in a healthy manner, and I said I would never do that. And I ended up doing it. How do you not repeat what your parents did?
That's called therapy. So
what if the way going to therapy and
the way that you acknowledge
what our mothers did?
Right, you acknowledge those patterns that were distressing or not healthy. Right, you acknowledge those patterns. But it's fairly common that we repeat those patterns. So not everyone needs to be in therapy, although a good number of us could use it.
I certainly can.
But the more we identify those patterns as being unhealthy, it helps us say, this is how I'm going to do things differently. So it is fairly patterns that we grew up with, but identify what wasn't healthy, identify the pattern within yourself.
So as we talk about building family time and conflict resolution, sibling fighting, I think, is one of the things. I was reading a blog that parents the most, siblings fighting. Yet I do know, as someone who grew up with no siblings, that you learn how to resolve. What should we do when you're spending family time together, but the siblings start fighting?
So I think I would agree that that's also a way to resolve conflicts, right? It's about communication, right? No, I said I was going to sit in the front seat. No, I said I was going to sit in the front seat, right? So there's communication. There's engaging in a sense of compromise. Okay, you sit in the front seat on the way there, I'll sit in the front seat on the way back. And sometimes parents have to intervene with that, as a mediator and with compromise, because then you're teaching kids, oh, this is how we solve problems. It's not by, giving someone a punch. Hopefully not. But for the most part, it's, again, parents stepping in. There is some amount of sibling conflict. It's happened since the beginning of time. We're not going to, get rid of that. However, we do want to intervene when it gets a little more heated. But I like to let kids sort of settle some of those things themselves. It's actually not that different when, your child has a conflict with another kid. As parents, I don't think we should always be intervening in those situations. We should really try to let kids work it out as much as possible, because that's how they learn the skills in communication, solving problems, and resolving conflicts.
And you say, I guess studies show active family time actually reduces stress as opposed to builds stress.
Absolutely. So the more you get out, the more you do things, the more you have new experiences. You're creating memories, right? I think so many of us have this memory of, gosh, we were stuck in the house for 15 months. So now we have ways to create new memories so that we can put some of those more negative feelings behind us. But that is a way to relieve stress, is by creating, having a good time, laughing, doing things that are more physically active, being outside, the sunlight, right? These are all things that we talk about that are so important for families.
Okay.
All right, so get out there, plan a little something, make some new memories, and put all this behind us. Thank you so much.
And if you haven't already, get vaccinated.
Yeah, get vaccinated. Thank you,
That helps
Doc.
you get out there for sure. All right.
Thank you,
Dr.
Doc.
Laura.